We just talked about FaZe Banks. Now everybody's talking about FaZe Banks. Was it because I talked about him? I'd like to think so. Probably not, judging by the amount of views that I get on every video. But hey, maybe it was. Maybe it all just kicked off because of me. Maybe I manifested it into reality. FaZe Banks built and destroyed his career on dirty money. You don't say.
This influencer, who many are now referring to as a crypto scammer, just got exposed for exploiting his friendship with one of the biggest streamers in the world, then throwing him under the bus. The only issue is,
oh no, they're throwing each other under the bus. Oh, you don't say.
There's been a history of him building a career off of dirty money, and this exact practice is what ended with him stepping down as CEO from FaZe. So this is Banks, the CEO, or well now, ex-CEO of a massive...
I made a joke that he looked like a pack of cigarettes. Somebody was like, bro, you look like a pack of cigarettes. And I was like, I feel like I look more like a tobacco pipe.
Gaming organization by the name of FaZe Clan. And as of the other day, messages were leaked that show that he actively took part,
or even a ganja pipe, I don't know, man,
and what many people are calling a huge crypto scam, and he exploited his friend Adin Ross in the process. He also announced that he would be stepping back from FaZe Clan entirely. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised that he didn't realize this was coming with the way he's been moving over the span of his career, because obviously there is a lot to unpack here. So let's start with the basic backstory. So as previously stated, Ricky, or Banks, was the CEO and co-founder of the gaming organization by the name of FaZe Clan. I'm sure a lot of you guys watching this video grew up watching these guys, so I don't really think
I didn't grow up watching them, but I grew up watching people talk about them.
Have to go too much into detail here, but
I was watching the Drama Slap before it was Drama Slap.
Long story short, FaZe Clan started as a Call of Duty trickshotting team that spiraled into a massive worldwide brand that has worked and helped grow some of the largest social media personalities in the world. However, FaZe and FaZe Banks have had quite a few controversies since the beginning. Allegedly, back in 2015...
That, you know, tends to happen with people who are obsessed their entire lives about making as much money as possible, buying nice cars, buying big houses, going on lavish vacations.
FaZe Banks and a handful of others co-owned a Counter-Strike gambling site called CSGO Wild. From reports, this site earned up to $200,000 a day. And you're probably thinking, well, that seems fine, but he never declared that he was owner until 2020. So essentially, he spent 4 years denying that he was a part of it. And this likely had a lot to do with the backlash that T. Martin and Syndicate got from being a part of making a similar Counter-Strike gambling site called CSGO Lotto. Obviously, this turned into a massive legal and PR nightmare for them, but they ended up settling and essentially getting away with a slap on the wrist in the eyes of the law. But
of course,
in the online communities, it's safe to say they took a pretty big hit to their careers for a while at least. Even though, at least back in that day, CSGO and CSGO gambling was extremely normalized within the gaming communities. But
absolutely disgusting. Anybody who promotes gambling like that, especially the CSGO gambling, has like international mobs connected to the third-party gambling involved with CSGO Lotto. It's fucking crazy. It's gross. Obviously, all these people don't care as long as they get that money, 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 money.
Banks finally admitted that he was an owner in 2020 of CSGO Wild. He explained that his motivation behind CSGO Wild was making enough money to purchase the CSGO team. So alongside with other FaZe members, they promoted the site with clear knowledge that Banks owned it. But then to somehow make things worse, the site failed to use a provable fair system. And that they were actually publicly outed for by various sources for manipulating the outcomes of the bets. Then on top of that, they allegedly didn't pay the site designer. So not only did they promote gambling to kids, but they also allegedly scammed a kid in the process. So clearly, this is not a good look. The CSGO Wild TLDR is allegedly a lot of FaZe members, including Banks, who allegedly owned the site, promoted an illegal gambling website to their child audience. They got them to spend their money, and then they also allegedly rigged the odds in their favor. TDM Hazes actually made a great video covering this.
Dude, these people are fucking garbage, man. That's why I can't stand any of these, like, top streamers. They all do this shit. Some of them at worse levels than others, but any of them that do this at any level is just garbage in my eyes.
Topic, and I'll be linking that video in the description down below. But moving on after that, this started a whole new era of FaZe. Banks had a pretty viral crash out on Snapchat of him in Europe. Many claimed this was due to substance abuse problems after falling into an unimaginable amounts of money from CSGO Wild. But he ended up very publicly leaving FaZe here.
I'm not joking on Twitter. I'm being 100% serious. And I'm happy with my decision. If you want to delete me on Snapchat, if you want to follow me on Twitter.
Who uses Snapchat?
If you want to hate me, do it all, man. Just keep that negative away. That's it. Goodbye. I'm getting so many tweets about the Tattoo. The tattoo is on my body forever. I'm glad it's on my body forever. FaZe was the coolest time of my life. FaZe up.
And here's the more formal tweet that he posted about this move back in 2016. But most of the FaZe guys, they ended up moving out to LA. And Banks also ended up moving to LA a little bit later, starting the Clout House with Rice Gum and Alyssa Violet. Meanwhile,
Bro, with Rice Gum, are you serious? What is with this guy? I've talked about Rice Gum so much. Dude is actually a fucking degenerate. He's garbage. He's a piece of shit. They just all like, they group together and they just garner these audiences of morons. I don't get it.
At this time, FaZe got connected with a shady, at best, Norwegian entrepreneur. And this guy is known for lying a lot, to put it lightly, within the Norwegian esports scene. But clearly, he's a smooth talker, and after meeting one of the founding members on FaZe on a plane and lying to him about who he knew, FaZe decided to move forward and bring him into the company. This guy was an absolute nightmare for FaZe.
Oh no,
he allegedly ended up
they should have done their fucking research.
Scamming the FaZe guys in multiple ways. First, from what I've heard, he ended
I think that's kind of deserved, you know?
up pitching them the startup of his.
I don't feel
He ended
bad.
up raising a bunch of money from the internal FaZe group, then nothing came from that startup. Some of the members even threw him hundreds of thousands of dollars towards this startup. And then you have the
I wish somebody would throw hundreds of thousands of dollars at me and my startup. That's fucking insane.
second thing, which many can
Why can't I be an industry plant?
refer to as a scam, is by the way he influenced FaZe, which eventually turned the company into a pump and dump for private equity that got their big cash out after FaZe Clan was SPAC'd out onto the stock market. And I'm not sure if he was actually still involved or had shares when they finally SPAC'd and went onto the public market, but I do know he asked a FaZe member while that FaZe member was in the hospital if his wife could borrow his car. But fun fact though, from what I know, none of the original FaZe Clan members made money from FaZe going live on the stock market, as they couldn't sell because their shares were locked up. But after the stock market hit, that was kind of towards the end of big FaZe, at least, because it all came down collapsing after that, because the company was burning way more money than they could ever earn. And the stock essentially dropped.
It's usually how it goes when a company is run by a bunch of garbage asshole morons who have no idea what they're doing, who are just basing the whole thing on making as much money for themselves as possible.
99%. And big FaZe Clan doesn't exist, by the way. It's just what I'm calling the bloated private equity version of FaZe that basically everyone within the community was not a fan of. Now, you still have a private equity version of FaZe, but this one is very different from what was running it in 2019, 2020, 2021, and so on. But obviously, other things happened during that time that hurt the reputation of both FaZe Clan and Banks, like the Tfue contract, where FaZe Clan drafted a very unfair, exploitative contract that they could take up to 80% of the revenue from his brand deals. And that became public after Tfue sued FaZe Clan in 2019. And what's so interesting about this is like the 80-20 split between creators and talent agencies, that's very normal, except it's 80% to the creator, 20% to the agency. This is
Yeah, I think even that's disgusting. I think talent agencies need to not be a thing. I think we need to get rid of them. I think we need to not allow those things to exist, because it never goes right. It always goes to shit. And honestly, what's the point of a talent agency? It's legit just like getting talent and making money off of the talent being talented, while they do nothing except, like, I guess promote you initially. But then you're just they're riding off of you being famous. And it's fucking retarded. Just be indie and build it yourself.
Opposite. This was 20% to Tfue, 80% to FaZe Clan. Now, from everyone I've talked to, FaZe never executed on that contract. They never actually held that contract to the state, aka they never took the 80% cut from his deals. But obviously the elephant in the room here is they could if they wanted to, and that's a massive problem. And many people blame Banks here for this, but I don't think he had anything to do with it at all. I would be looking at Seabass way before I would be looking at Banks when it comes to this stuff. Even though that Seabass would just be a cog in the massive machine that was the bloated private equity version of FaZe back then. But what I will say is Banks was definitely at fault with his involvement with Banks Social, because in May of 2021, Banks tweeted in support of this project called Banks Social, calling it, in quote,
Yeah, bro, this is what happens when you go straight up corporate and you try and branch off in these weird directions, trying to just throw anything at the wall to see what sticks. Just to make as much money as possible for Just the fact to make more money. That's the only goal. And it collapses every single time. Like, this isn't appealing. Nobody cares about this. Who thought this was a good idea? Likes and follows Banks Social IO. Who gives a shit?
Project I F with heavily and truly believe this is the next one to pop. He then ran a $10,000 giveaway with that project, which obviously caused the token to pump, then immediately dump right after. Banks then deleted the tweets, got called out for it, then claimed that he never sold any of his B Social tokens and that he didn't participate in any pump and dump. And I mean, that's cool and all, but he should have also understood how irresponsible that was to begin with. Then you also had the whole Save the Kids situation, because in June of 2021, multiple FaZe members promoted a crypto coin that was promoted as a charity. However, immediately after launching the coin, it crashed by over 90%. People immediately started looking at the transactions on the blockchain and very soon after realized that the members were directly involved. FaZe and Banks were quickly to distance themselves from this whole scandal and claim they had zero involvement or knowledge of the scam. And from what I can tell, this is still true. These members who did this were fired and kicked immediately. But another thing I wanted to quickly add, as I mentioned earlier, revolving FaZe Clan and Big FaZe, because in 2022, FaZe became a public traded company, essentially meaning that the company's ownership could be
Dude, who thought that was a good idea? It was already on fire before you decided to go public with it. What kind of decision was that? Make more money? Make more and more money? Have people that can invest in the company?
Distributed with the general public. If you ask anyone about FaZe around this time, they would say something around the lines of FaZe became corporate. This is in reference to the bloated private equity version of FaZe I've been talking about. But obviously
they were already corporate. They were corporate when they started.
Massive problem with that was the same uniqueness that made FaZe what it is essentially gone. And only a year later, the stock had completely collapsed, causing the former CEO to get terminated. FaZe was then acquired by GameSquare Holding, which ended up later on appointing Banks as FaZe's new CEO. And this was after Banks bought a 25% ownership into FaZe Media for $9.5 million. And what's important here is he bought into FaZe Media, not their esports side of the business. So why is this relevant? Well, Banks rebranded FaZe, brought on a new generation of FaZe talent, moved them into a stream house, and tried to make this like new age version of—
Dude, I am so tired of these houses. These streamer houses. Like, when are we gonna be done with this? It's like this Team 10 Jake Paul bullshit. It just keeps going. We had this wasn't interesting 10 years ago.
The old FaZe house. And I would say all around, that was a massive success for FaZe. But unfortunately, that was only one of two streamer houses that he started. He also had this other group called Probably Nothing. And here you have a handful of other members. Frank D-Gods, Thread Guy, OG Shoots, Rasmer. I think that was everyone. I could be missing some. But some of them are relevant because of what happens later on in this video. And overall, Probably Nothing, I think, turned into being way more of a headache than what it was worth it for Banks. Because you constantly had moments like this on various live streams.
Today, and Banks is always early. Wow. Think about that's the simple of science. Wow. Right? Banks bought Goat and Zero Bro today.
Banks is always early.
Your boys by Zero Bros and
Banks is always early.
Banks is always early. So what you guys do the math?
Because if anything, a lot of their live streams just made them come across as very shady, to put it lightly. And it also really did not help that a lot of the stuff they were buying and hyping up on their live streams kind of turned into what their name was, worth probably nothing. But you may have seen these people in the stream with Adin Ross while he bought the meme coin MLG. And I guess you would also see them in that leaked Hawk episode where they were trying to like do damage control for a Hawk girl. But the latter is
they're background guys.
Kind of irrelevant. It's the stream with Adin and these Probably Nothing guys that got us here in the situation today. Because what a lot of people may be asking is, WTF is MLG coin? Well, MLG stands for Major League Gaming, which originally started with hosting Halo and Smash Bros. Tournaments. It actually became the first televised esports league in 2006. And eventually—
Dude, I wanted to be part of MLG when I was a kid. It was so cool to me back then, around the Modern Warfare 2 days. Oh, man. People were putting MLG in their clan tag. Everybody remember the clan tags that people would do? Is that still a thing? I don't know.
They added Call of Duty, StarCraft, and League of Legends to its programming before it was finally acquired by Activision Blizzard. And like many things that
that's where it went wrong.
Touched that company, it was all downhill from there. At least for the company. Online culture, they had other plans. They took its branding and merged it with satirical gaming culture, and then you had people like Snipers, Pyrocynical, and Roman, and many others.
Oh, Pyrocynical. I forgot that he was like part of this kind of gaming sphere back then.
That repopularized the MLG name alongside of Mountain Dew, Doritos, hit markers, joints, and Snoop Dogg. And it's safe to say that that ran its course until the cow was completely milk dry by late 2016, early 2017, and that's at a stretch. So fast forward like what, 7 or 8 years until Crypto Hell, a website called Pump Fund launched, where any moron could launch their own crypto token with just a few clicks. And someone launched a coin called MLG. And this is clearly not associated to Major League Gaming, Activision Blizzard, or any of the original MLG montage YouTubers. Banks, for some reason, I guess, saw this bundled coin and decided that he was going to make this his identity and shill it pretty aggressively. And this is even though it was extremely bundled. According to Bubble Maps here, more than 25% of the supply was in control by a handful of people by the time Banks started buying into it. So here's a screenshot of the wallets in control of the MLG coin the days he was buying it to begin with. And obviously, I know for any normal person looking at this, you're probably like, what? So TLDR, this is a normal wallet. TLDR, this is a normal wallet. And this is someone or a group of people who has spread out their tokens between a whole bunch of wallets, trying to make it look like they don't own as much of the token as they really do. That right there is called a bundle or a cluster, which will become important later on in this video. And fast forward a few months, Adin, obviously still upset about this situation, had a rant about it on stream, but he didn't mention Banks directly.
MLG is up, you're good. Ban him out of my chat. Aladog, you're a sucking beast, bro. All those crypto kids, they're nowhere to be found, bro. They stole millions of dollars from innocent people, bro. We don't see about them anymore, hang around them anymore. They're nowhere to be found, bro. Them. What the f have they been on, bro? They're like hiding away somewhere underground. It's fucking insane, bro. They bought like bunkers and shit.
So obviously Banks was called a scammer by a bunch of people because he stupidly made a coin his identity and kept promoting it to his followers. He was also the one who brought this coin to both Adin Ross and his—
Dude, I'm so tired of all of these influencers pushing all of these like hype products that mean nothing. Like, sure, if it's like a plushie or a t-shirt, fine. Or like an energy drink, fine. It's like an actual consumable product. But like online currencies and like NFTs and stuff like that, anybody who's involved in any of that kind of stuff, what the fuck are you doing? Anybody who's like buying that kind of stuff from these like online celebrities, what the fuck are you doing? You might be even more retarded than the person promoting it.
Fans. And one day, I guess he just broke and sent this really weird message to the MLG chat blaming Adin Ross for the reason it collapsed. Adin Ross effed this up. This community dumped on him buying, used him as exit liquidity, his ego got hurt, blamed Frank, him and Frank got into it privately. Adin despises Frank and spins and drives a narrative about Frank selling. Somehow this falls on me and the threads to farm, the whole situation spins into me selling and dumping coins. When I ran this thing up from $3 million to $200 million, organically, top blasted multiple times, invested a F ton of money, and never ever ever sold.
You know what I gotta say about this? I gotta say, good. I'm glad that Adin Ross got ripped off, and I'm glad that FaZe Banks is getting called out. I'm glad that these two are fighting. I'm glad this community is basically crumbling. We didn't need it. Get the fuck out of here. Put the fries in the bag. I can't wait until these people are irrelevant, and we're not talking about them anymore, and we're just gonna be like, oh yeah, here's a top 20 list of where are they now.
The only bad actor in this entire thing is Adin. Point blank, period. Hold up, what? Why would you ever say this about your friend that you convinced to buy? The only reason Adin was in this project is because you flew out to Florida and had him buy it on stream. What is going on here? So obviously Banks got a lot of backlash for that. So he responds with, I've never scammed anyone a day in my life.
It's a whole bunch of dumbasses being douchebags. That's what's going on here. Like, these are all terrible people. They're just assholes.
The entire narrative is unfair, and a part of the reason it exists is cause my FaZe name is so easily farmed and manipulated. The fact this is affecting the guys at all is whack, so for the time being, I'm gonna be stepping away from not only FaZe, but all of this internet. It's destroying my life inside and out. Sucks my entire life gets ruined over something I didn't even do. The real ones know.
Yep. Can't stand the heat. Get out of the kitchen.
Wish I could say I'll be back, but I really don't know if I will. Okay, so that
Good
tweet has since
riddance.
been deleted. But an old roommate and
no,
teammate
no.
of his,
You
FaZe
don't
Rain,
say.
chimed in with this.
I mean, I saw a lot what Banks said. I saw the way he's going about defending himself, but one thing I haven't seen him say is if those DMs are real or not. What he said in the chat, it seems like he's kind of dancing around that topic. Like we all make mistakes, but it's all about taking accountability for a lot of stuff, right? It's like, hey, bro, like I said that. My fault. I was wrong. I threw you under the bus when, you know, I should take blame for that. I made that stream happen. Like, bro, I genuinely couldn't believe it when I saw that message, especially like the way it was worded. When I read that shit at the end saying there's only one bad actor in this and it's Adin, I was like, what the like that was a crazy thing to read, right?
And then to make things even worse, the guys behind the MLG coin claims Banks tried to cut them out several times and take control of the project. So that shows that he had a lot more, or tried to have a lot more, to do with the project than what he was leading on to. And then some loose allegations towards Adin Ross's manager started to come out, claiming that Adin Ross's manager used to work with FaZe for many years. And then they provided some out of context clip of Adin saying that the manager owed Adin money for all this Banks stuff.
Bob, you owe me money for the crypto with Banks, where
Oh, you owe me money. You owe me money for this, for that, for that. Like, who cares? Like, nobody cares. Nobody owes you any money. Like, get real. Get fucked, man. You got ripped. Don't associate with people like that, and don't base your entire life on how much money you can make. Like, you get what you fucking deserve.
someone tried to impersonate Banks and you vouched.
So how out of context that is, I'm not sure, but it does become relevant later on in this video. But Adin then responded to this whole situation by saying the Banks screenshot is real. It's sad. If you guys think that MLG being rugged was me, I'm sorry to tell you it wasn't. There's a reason that entire house is silent. Truth will come out eventually. I'm just more hurt on the fact someone I call my brother is behind my back. So
Oh no! You got stabbed in the back, Mr. Top Streamer guy. Got stabbed in the back by your other rich streamer friend. Oh, you don't say. You don't say. Nobody saw that coming.
obviously, Banks then got even more backlash. So then he went back to Twitter and he said,
Oh, dude, they just keep fanning the flames. It's like, oh, you're gonna pour gasoline on my fire? I'm gonna pour more gasoline on your fire.
He's stepping away from not only FaZe, but all the internet. It's destroying my life inside and out. FaZe Rug ironically had absolutely nothing to do with that, though. That's just a very unfortunate name in today's crypto age. Banks did go on to Adin Ross's stream where he had plenty of things to say. And watching this stream is honestly kind of crazy because I'm shocked at how easy it was for Banks to just direct this conversation with Adin. Like, there was zero pushback from Adin here at all. Because I'm pretty sure the whole thing was supposed to be Adin confronting Banks about what happened, but instead, Banks just kind of sweet talks and gaslights him for an hour, and it's almost like Adin just kind of bought it, or at least he did so while on call.
Yeah.
How did we get in this mess, man?
You got everyone in this mess. What are you talking about, dude?
And it just started from you speaking, behind my back.
I know. We'll get to the text. Obviously, I'm just saying. Me and you have known each other for how long?
Years. We have a lot of history together.
Years and years and years. We live together. We can talk to each other about anything. Me and you have had one issue between each other our entire lives, the entire time
Is it money? The issue was money.
knowing you. What is it?
What? I don't know.
MLG.
Oh.
This whole MLG thing. The only time me and you have had any weird
Money.
energy, all this weird back and forth, the miscommunications, the talking between Tav has been over the stream that we did 6 months ago. And this whole narrative around Frank and everybody in that room scamming people. And for the last 6 months, Frank's been getting farmed to be some kind of scammer. This MLG thing goes to zero. It looks horrible on everybody involved. I am the only person with any sort of namesake. Me and you have a real relationship. So now a narrative forms where it's like I'm scamming. It makes
Nope, you make money together. That's your relationship.
it look weird between me and you. Me and you
You lost money, and now there's no longer a good relationship because your whole relationship was based on how much money you could make together. That's what happened. Somebody got ripped. Multiple people got ripped. A bunch of people probably got ripped. And now everybody's upset because money. You see what I'm talking about here?
get on the phone. You tell me, I know you're not scamming. I know you're not scamming. But then these clip pages are posting, Banks is scamming, Banks is scamming. Bro, this thing spirals to the point where I fall for bait. I post in this chat. You read it. It was a whack message. I should have just called you again. but I just feel like the story and all the details of it haven't been properly represented, and everybody involved feels that way.
Okay, so I'm kind of confused in why he didn't immediately apologize for bringing both Adin and his community into this awful investment, then somehow blame Adin for everything. Either Banks is a moron for doing this, or he's pretending to be a moron. Like, he flew out to Florida with a bunch of crypto bros to convince one of the largest streamers in the world, who has an extremely active and pretty young audience, to buy a low cap meme coin. How did he ever think this was going to go over well? Banks is essentially...
So many fucking people before him tried and failed too. It's just like, oh, I hear this is a thing that you could do, that people are scamming people, making a lot of money. We got to do it because nobody's going to jail yet.
The wolf in sheep's clothing, bringing all the sheep to the other wolves here, because this would be a disaster no matter what. We've already established with bubble maps, the coin was heavily bundled when Banks got into it, so it's not like it would be too different from when he got Adin into it. So either way, the supply was in control by very few people. What I do want to say though is, I have not been able to find any wallets tied to Banks that have taken profits or sold off any of this MLG coin. I also contacted Bubble Maps about this, and they have not been able to verify anything either as of the recording this video. So at least for now, it doesn't look like Banks used MLG coin to make money. If anything, it seems like he lost not only money on it, but also a lot of career reputation here. So I'm leaning to the side that Banks was just being a moron here, and they really thought this coin was going to go into the multiple billions of dollars. And
yeah, they really thought that they were going to be crypto moguls. Like, I think a lot of people who start these shit meme coins, that's what they're thinking. They're going to be crypto moguls. They're going to be billionaires. They're going to be running whole entire crypto operations. The whole world will be using their coin.
That they will all make money somehow.
Listen, let me put it in context for everybody, and this is all facts. Adin,
we're going to make money off of the fees from everybody using our coin to buy gas.
Fact check me or not, call me out, whatever. I mean, after the last 48 hours, what we've gone through together, we all know where we're at, and we all know what facts are facts. Facts?
What does that even mean, dude?
No.
We fly to Florida to do a crypto stream. All of us, right? You expressed interest in buying MLG. Do you remember what I said on that? The VOD should still exist. Do you remember what I said when people started talking about buying it on stream? Do you remember what I said?
I don't. I didn't watch the stream. I haven't watched the stream back.
Somebody go find the VOD and clip it if you want. I said not to buy it on stream. You remember that?
Yeah, I watched that entire stream and I did not hear him say that.
The moment you bought it on stream, the truth is the community dumped the coin. It doesn't even logically make sense that anyone in that room dumped the coin. It doesn't make sense. Our wallets trading it are public with millions of dollars in it. Why would we give that up? Why would we start dumping it live on stream to lose millions of dollars? It doesn't even logically make sense, first of all.
Okay, he put himself in this really bad situation because obviously we can see he didn't sell until the other day. But also, sadly, it's almost impossible for us to verify if he had any other alt wallets, if he had decent wallet hygiene. So either way, this should be the biggest wake-up call for all influencers to never endorse or market any microcap. They are microcap, honestly. Any microcap projects, especially if the only use case of the project is number of investment go up. That's a Ponzi, and it's 100% a certifiable way to destroy your reputation.
You never thought I scammed you anyways, period. It was always between the other guys. That's what you always said.
Dude, if you're worried about your friends scamming you, you're worried about being scammed, you're worrying about scamming people, don't do it. Don't get involved. I just like, I don't fucking get it, man. I really don't. Maybe it's because I'm not like a multi-millionaire streamer.
I will say this, yes. I thought I was under the impression, because people were telling me that I got scammed by the other people in the room. Yes, that's what I...
And by the way, that's completely and entirely fair. And then I'm stuck in a spot where nobody gives a to farm these kids' names. So it's FaZe Banks and his crypto friends are scamming Adin Ross. You understand what my position in it? Obviously, like where I'm at there.
It's because you're affiliated, and I understand.
Yes. Okay, so I get looped in this, and then we get into this loop, and it obviously puts weird energy between us.
No, I know. I agree. It's definitely weird between us.
And honestly, it's not any more spicy than that. Nobody ran away with millions of dollars. Adin lost 50 racks even. I lost 100K. Frank lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. People made millions of dollars off this coin, by the way. I bought this at $3 million, fully endorsed it, fully backed it, ran with this narrative that it's the gamer coin. It was a legitimate community with an amazing narrative during a good time in crypto. And unironically, you marked the top.
Yeah, so here he just kind of admitted that he brought the sheep into their final destination with that stream.
You and I have had a weird relationship for the past 6 months, to be honest.
Facts. We've been talking through Top. We've been not talking as much.
Dude, if you talk like that and you're like, facts, whenever something's like agreeable or you agree with it or it's true, like, you already come off as a fucking moron to me.
It's been weird. It's all based around this thing, and real emotions are involved. You guys got to keep in mind the people.
Like, if you're memeing and, you know, you're using that as like your meme slang, that's one thing. If you're having a serious conversation and you're speaking like that, what the fuck are you doing?
Watching the stream, this isn't some like PR scripted thing. Me and Aiden really have real history. I met this kid before he had 10 viewers. We were taking pictures at bars. He's asking me for pictures, and then he came and lived with me and Rice, and we like really came up together on some, and like that's real. Never had an issue. Aiden, me and you have never had a singular problem since before this.
Dude, it's just been, like I said, like I obviously, like I've always looked up to you as like my older brother. Like, you know that, but
And I've always loved you. I've slid for you. I've been there for you too.
But literally 2 days ago, he completely throws his so-called day one friend that he came up together with under the bus, even though it was him that got his friend into this whole MLG thing in the first place. This whole conversation just seems so manipulative.
And Aiden, to both of our credit, how many times did you say, yo, this guy said it's a good idea if I drop a coin? And what did I say to you every time?
yeah, that's true. You said no.
I said, no, Aiden, we can't do that. If anybody was in a scam,
Yeah, it seems like he's trying to get Aiden to be like, oh, why are you mad? Come on, man, be a good sport. Come back over to our side. I didn't do anything wrong, buddy. Like that's what it's seeming like.
mindset, by the way, that's the scam. For the people who don't want to understand the nuances of crypto, it doesn't logically make sense. We're live sitting there. We're dumping a coin live, physically behind your back, and just losing millions of dollars on in other wallets. We have these secret side wallets.
The conclusion I'm having with this is they were both acting like morons here and not scamming.
What else is new? Everybody involved is a fucking moron and nothing's actually happening. And they're all fighting because they're fucking idiots and they don't know what's going on.
Although the bar is set very low when we're like, well, at least we didn't launch our own crypto token.
I came out the cut to help bring the FaZe back. I think we did that. I'm good. These boys got it from here. I'm 33 years old. I don't have a kid. I'm a bum by everybody else's standards, so I'm gonna just focus on that.
But I think dwelling on that, you know, I don't know.
It's not even a dwelling thing. Genuinely, brother, I'm happy. Again, all I care about is my real relationships.
Okay, so he was publicly outed for throwing his friend under the bus, and then I guess now he's retiring, which is why I'm referring to both the gambling money and the meme coin money, which is also pretty much gambling money as well, dirty money. Because this led a dude who's in the top 0.1% of net worth in the world to throw a friend that he calls a day one friend and family under the bus. That's
For
dirty
money.
no matter what you call it. Because
For money.
this is why I'm saying he built and destroyed his career off of dirty money.
How we fell in this in the first place is I fell for bait. I read into a
Definitely funny money.
tweet. You scammed your friend Adin Ross, you piece of shit. This kid had MLG in his name. So I went into the MLG chat. I said, yo, I'm just going to let
Doing
you.
some very questionable shit for money. Stabbing people in the back. Ruining relationships.
You guys all know. I'm about to sell this whole fucking thing. I've held this thing to zero. And I got people in this community saying like this. And just went off, threw you under the bus. Honestly, dude, say whatever you want. If they want you to fucking rip me apart, and you're going to rip me apart for the sake of a community wanting you to rip me apart.
They want me to go deep on you, bro. They want me to go deep on you how I do with like the Dochis and like all these other people on the internet. But it's like I have a real
But
history.
that's not real. But that's not reality.
I have a real history.
None of this is reality. This is all fake. This is all a bunch of celebrity drama nonsense where they're fighting over money. That's all that this is.
With you. That's why I'm like, I'm just hurt.
I mean, honestly, there's nothing Banks said here that made sense to why he would throw Aiden under the bus here. But he does go on to kind of take some accountability.
I don't blame you whatsoever. Like you tried your best. Nobody's blaming anybody, bro. I'm not saying it's your fault. To be honest with you, it's 100% my fault.
I you know me, but
let me get this off real quick. I should never ever have talked about any coin or any asset as like unreliable or whatever. Like I don't even know what the word is for this, but there's a reason why since this has happened, I'm on some buy Bitcoin, crypto punks. I'm not talking about anything else.
Volatile and low market cap might be the words he was looking for, but either way, at the end of the day, both of these guys are at fault here for doing a stream like this, endorsing a low market cap crypto coin in front of so many people. And it's
and thinking that it was going to be a big deal, that it was going to be big time, they were going to make buku bucks, everybody was going to make money.
seems like they realize this now. But a clip from the interview that really gave me whiplash was this.
The majority of my day yesterday on the phone with everybody from family to FaZe members to employees to my friends and everybody across the board that I care about, that I work with, that I have any meaningful relationship with, loves me, knows who I am, and this hasn't changed anything. As long as there's only one person that I have weird energy in the air with, and it's you.
Dude, you didn't throw any of them under the bus. What are you talking about? Of course they don't feel like that to you. You didn't throw them under the bus. No one, Adin has all the rights in the world to feel like that to you. That doesn't make sense. Also, I kind of got suspicious about this clip.
Can I ask you a question?
Anything, brother. Anything.
What does bundled mean? What does that mean in crypto? I don't know what that means. Like a bundle?
I'm not
I think he does know what that means.
super familiar either. I think it's when a bunch of wallets adjacent and close to each other and have traded back and forth between each other own, like, to be honest, I can't speak to it. That would be a question that I would ask. Like,
No, yeah, because I don't know anything about these terms either. That's why I'm asking you.
yeah.
Okay, so he was in the ballpark there, but what's odd about this is he referred to bundles 24 hours later. So I guess enough of that. Remember the allegations about Adin Ross's manager, Top? Well, Adin just announced that he fired that manager.
Guys, as you guys have been sticking around me for a very long time, you know I've been dealing with a lot of bullshit behind the scenes. So I'm just gonna let you guys know that Tav and I are 100% split ways. I'm not messing with Tav anymore. He's not messing with me. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck and stuff like that. But Adin and Tav is not a thing. I don't have a manager. I don't have an active manager. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, bro. I got this. We got this. By the way, it's all love to Tav. I don't want people. I saw what was going on in the community. I don't want the family y'all were leaving on him and stuff like that. Don't go after people's families. It's nothing to do with him, bro. Honestly, and I don't.
Yeah. As soon as you bring all this fake internet shit into real life, you've lost the plot, and you've done worse than anybody that we're talking about has done by 1,000,000 times, and you deserve jail. Do not bring this into real life.
I'll tell you all the details about what happened. It's really nobody's business. I'm just gonna leave it like that.
Then his stream chat wouldn't move on, so he got frustrated.
Hey guys, with all due respect, please ban Tav's name from my chat and please take out the emote, please. I'm not joking, bro. Let that move on. Let's get past it. No reason for me to bring that back up. Let's just get over it, all right?
Now, obviously, we can speculate what happened as it's perfectly timed up with the recent allegations, but at the end of the day, who knows? Well, the timing's interesting. But Adin did have some final words for Banks.
It's not about being spineless. It's just about what's the truth and what's not the truth. Cut him off then. It's not your business whether I cut him off or don't cut him off. I don't speak to Banks all the time. We speak here and there, but I consider that somebody that changed my life in many ways. Family to me, bro.
Yep, just disconnect all of the monetary ties from him. Just completely disconnect all of that. That's my advice.
Let's not act like he didn't move me in a crib, never charged me for rent, said don't join FaZe Clan because it's ran by a bunch of CEOs and weird people. I have history with him. So sorry I'm not going on stream saying FaZe Bank, let's FaZe Bank. Sorry I'm not doing that. Instead, I'm just going to say I'm hurt. And it was up what he did.
And I guess that's all we have for now. So Banks is
forgive, but learn from it and move on.
No longer the CEO of FaZe. I don't know how long that'll last though, but it looks like his career was both built and destroyed off of dirty money. So hey, if you guys are new here, please subscribe as we cover laughably stupid stuff that unfolds in the
this was incredible. Incredible video. I loved it. I love when these idiot top streamers are fighting over money and they're like pulling each other down. Fucking great. Absolute cinema. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell for all notifications. If you want to see more drama slop, drop content, there you go.